So for months now, I have been begging my fiance to buy a new mattress. Just a bigger mattress. Ours is fine. It's comfortable. It's just too small because the dog sleeps in the bed with us. He's not a big dog, but he sleeps in the bed with us. And every morning, without fail, like I wake up, my legs are twisted up or my back is twisted up, and like I just want a new mattress. So I started thinking about like, and I've had neck problems too, just like sleeping uncomfortably. Like I find myself sleeping like this. I'll wake up in the morning and my neck is like back like this, and then I wonder why. Oh, my neck is killing me because I don't get a comfortable night's sleep. And I was thinking like, there's got to be another level to how to sleep. So I was thinking about like, what is after the mattress? And I thought about what if there's this system, like a support system in like. So basically, you set yourself up in like this box, right? And there's straps on the box, and they connect like on your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders, your neck, your back, like your hips, and like you sleep and you're suspended in the air. So that way that your skeleton is in like the perfect, ergonomically correct position all night. Would you get a perfect night's sleep? Like no pillow, no sheets. Maybe it's climate controlled so you sleep comfortably, but you are in like this wire contraption while you sleep, so your skeleton is perfect. So you wake up every morning and you feel great. Like nothing's bent out of shape. There's no dog laying on you. You're comfortable in the temperature.
Do you think that would be a little rough on your joints, like hanging from your arms?
How would you get down when you wake up?
But I don't know, the same way you got into it. Like
Jen cuts them down.
Every morning.
It's all Velcro.
I don't know if I'd be able to fall asleep like that.
Why not? But you'd be
because I'm suspended with wires.
The idea is you're in a perfect position. You're in a perfect position
for your
So like, even if I am comfortable, like I sleep on my side, right? Mostly I sleep on my side, but like it's either and my pillow's in the right spot or I don't know, whatever. Yeah. I find myself like in the morning, like this shoulder is slumped over to the right. So like this part of my neck is killing me. Or this shoulder like collapses down. So like I'm all jammed up like this. So in this wire cage system.
That's a cage.
that you're in the perfect position.
So what you're saying is you want a device that keeps your body in the same orientation all night.
Yes.
And is maybe like nice and soft on your body. Is that not a bed?
No, it's not a bed because there are flaws to a mattress.
Okay.
So
yes, there are flaws too. Yeah, you're right.
There's flaws, so I'm trying to think like the next step on what you could do.
I think the next step
is... And even if you like toss and turn in the middle of the night, maybe it's got like, we've got electric cars with computers in them. So maybe it can like move you, can like continue to move you when you sleep.
Yeah, maybe it's just like a giant spatula that flips you in your bed.
I'm trying to think of like maybe NASA has something like it.
I'm thinking of like this. I'm thinking of like a circle thing.
So like you sleep
like you're in the middle of
like the Leonardo da Vinci.
The Veruvian Man.
Is it Veruvian Man?
It's not Peruvian.
It's not the Peruvian Man.
No. I sleep heavily, but only for like a couple hours at a time.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I woke up in the middle of the night and I was suspended,
oh God!
I can't move, like what do I do?
So I'm still working on that part.
Okay.
I end up getting up in the middle of the night all the time and go to the bathroom.
I think you're right. I think the technology is there for that. I think that it would be expensive, number one. But I think also the thing you're looking for is that fucking that water tube that Luke Skywalker has put in Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi. Which one? You know what I'm talking about when he's like suspended in fucking thing. And he has like the giant diaper on. You know what I'm talking about? And he's hooked up to oxygen and you're floating.
Maybe it's
what's
water.
More comfortable than
floating? You've got the that solves everything. It's temperature controlled. Your body is suspended.
Right.
Like
you can make the water the same temperature as your body, and then you won't know where you end and the water begins.
Right.
You will just become, and then eventually you never want to get out, and you become like a super villain, and you just live in there, and Jen can't get you out of the tube.
I would never be able to get her out. I call her Jen Bed. Instead of her actual name, Jen Bev, I call her Jen Bed because it's a production to get her out of bed every morning.
Yeah.
I love being, especially in the winter.
Yeah, it is not. It is
keep our house ice cold, so
being under the covers, and it is nice. I will tell you, it is nice having the dog in bed. Is like having like a little mini oven
heater
in the bed with you.
I was watching Matthew Walker teaches a master class, and if you don't recognize his name, it's because he's just a nobody. He's like a professor at some college or university. Anyway, he did a master class on the art of sleep, the art of good night's sleep. And one of the things I pulled out from it that I found interesting was essentially you can get a full 8 hours of sleep. Like normal people can get a full 8 hours of sleep every night for their entire lives, and they can still feel like tired because we're just lazy pieces of shit. Like we go to bed and we go to bed at the end of the day and we're tired, but just because our circadian rhythm tells us we're tired, our body isn't actually tired because we didn't do anything all day. Like, well, I'm speaking for the general population who don't exercise regularly and things like that, like me. So, like, you go to bed and you wake up the next morning and you still feel like a piece of garbage because you went to bed not needing sleep, and your body just laid there dormant for 8 to 10 hours, and you wake up and you feel like you fucking got hit by a train.
Right.
Does he have any advice?
Sleep mode.
Well, I said, work out and things. That's why the hotness and fitness right now is that Whoop strap. I don't know if you guys have heard. It's like a Fitbit. But essentially, it tracks your output for the day. So it tracks like your blood. It doesn't do blood pressure, but it does blood, heartbeat, monitor, and it checks all your vitals and your O2 levels and your oxygen. So it knows exactly how much your body, like how much work your body did that day, and it'll tell you how much recovery you need. And then when you wake up, it'll track your sleep, and then the next morning, it'll tell you if your body is fully recovered and how hard you can go that day with a workout, whatever. It's very fucking involved. And like nothing I would ever want to be a part of.
I think Jeff Mello has something similar. Because when we were in New Hampshire for New Year's, we didn't like drink too much, but we had wine and stuff, and then woke up the next morning and his bracelet thing was like, well, it says my body is 6% recovered.
Yeah, that's what it is. He definitely has a Whoop strap. Yeah.
I was like, oh, that seems low.
That's low.
Yeah.
So then I felt 6% recovered, and I'm like, well.
But if I know humans, we're going to find an easy way out, and eventually we won't have to exercise for a good night's sleep. We'll just get in Adam's torture chamber and
maybe it's the way of the future.
And hang from the ceiling.
All right, Adam, I like it. It's a good prototype.
Welcome to Average Nobody's episode 107 for January 14th.
Yep.
You want to know why? Because the 15th, the WandaVision show comes out.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Disney
okay,
Plus?
cool.
Yeah, well, at midnight,
shit, I
think
canceled my
technically.
Disney Plus subscription.
Stupid move. I'll get you mine. Okay, I'll get you in there. You got to make your own profile, though. I can't have you on mine.
Too many weird things.
You got to make your own. As a civilized human,
Right.
if someone
Don't
lends
wanna
you
mess
their
up your
streaming,
algorithm.
exactly. You can't mess up right now. My Netflix is ravaged by the bullshit that Lindy watches.
Oh my god.
It's awful. I can't. I'd say it. I had to abandon. There's one Matt. I have to make Matt 2 and just call the other one. The original Matt is just Lindy now.
Do you want to make a Lindy?
No, I'm not. Well, no. I told Lindy she has to make Lindy.
Right.
She refused to do it, and I haven't watched Netflix in a while. And I go back to it now because usually my stuff can like out battle hers, and it'll be a nice even. It's over.
Took too much time off.
It's over.
When we lived in the apartment, Jen, her brother, and his friends would come up once or twice a year for Comic-Con or anime or some gaming convention, and I'd be at work all day, and they'd either be at the con or back at the apartment, and I come home, and when I'm gone, when they go, all I got on my Netflix is anime stuff. I'm like, I don't watch that. So that really screws me up. So I can see what you're saying about how, having somebody else on your account can really ravage what you're watching.
Because right now I'm in the middle of and we'll get into this, I'm in the middle of a deep community watch. And so when I go onto Hulu, I want to scroll down right to continue watching, and it's right there waiting for me. If all of a sudden I go in there and fucking Grey's Anatomy is sitting there, and I start watching Grey's Anatomy, that's 5 seconds I'll never get back.
Never get back. And
then you're frustrated.
The Hulu menu is terrible too, so it's you got to battle with it for another 10 minutes to get out of there. So I've got the celebrity birthdays this week by accident. Oh.
It's Michael Scott.
All right. I recorded that today for our intro.
Oh, very cool.
Took me a while.
That was you?
That was me.
Oh, I like it.
So Adam done fucked up. Anybody keeping track at home? It was supposed to be my week to give riddles, but Adam's got the riddles today.
Yeah, I didn't put Matt the Rat in there.
Okay, so I've got I had 5 earlier today, but now I've got
Where can
6.
they find us? I'll do it later.
And I'm just gonna dive right in.
What is one?
A director with oceans of praise. He's made some Magic Mike movies not just from behind the lens, but from behind the candelabra.
Steven Soderbergh?
It is Steven Soderbergh.
Good
Happy
one.
birthday. How old do you think Steven Soderbergh is today?
I'm going to say 56.
I'm going to say Steven Soderbergh is 61.
Steven Soderbergh is 58 years old today.
God damn.
Right in the middle.
What did you say? You said 50?
56.
Okay.
A part of the most muscular cast of all time with Arnold.
Oh, no, never mind. I was like, I know that movie.
This Rocky rival has even started to direct Among the Stars, even though a damn alligator bit his hand off. Ryan.
Carl Weathers?
Yes, it is Carl Weathers.
It's a good day for celebrity birthdays.
It is. I was going to say Dolph Lundgren until the last part.
How old do you think Carl Weathers is today?
Oh, God.
71. Yeah.
If he's 70, he looks really good for 71.
He's definitely in his 70s.
Are you going off of Stallone?
You know, I think I missed. I saw something else.
I think he's 67 years old.
He is 73
Oh, shit.
years old today. Matt,
Wow.
is that who you were going to get? Oh, no, you were going to guess.
I was going to say The Expendables, but that's a movie and not a person's name.
Did you, no, when you raised your hand, did you have
Yeah,
Carl?
The Expendables.
No, were you going to say Carl Weathers?
No.
Oh,
He's going to say the Expendables.
oh all right.
Well, you said the most muscular cast of all time.
Did you
And
think
I
it was
was
the
like,
Expendables birthday?
Yeah, I didn't think.
73. Good for him.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Ladies love this rapper turned actor. He's cool under pressure in the deep blue sea and doesn't just swat bad guys. His mama tells him to knock them out.
LL Cool J.
It is LL Cool J. How old do you think LL is today?
Oh, God. Okay. I'm going to do this one by his music career.
Scientifically.
Yeah. I'm going to say that LL Cool J Hold on. Give me a second.
I feel like that the gif of the woman from from Zach Galifianakis
Hangover.
from The Hangover with all the numbers.
Yeah. He is 48 years old.
Okay.
I'm going to say 55.
He's 53.
Shit. Oh,
53
man.
years old.
Well, last week was last episode was definitely an anomaly.
An anomaly, yeah.
All the age guesses.
4 guesses of birthdays.
Yeah.
Correct. Our age is exactly right.
So this one, it might be tough to get the actor's name, but here it goes. This actor always seems to be cast in medieval times and Knight's Tales, but he's most known for teaming up with a golden lion to become the Lord of the Seven Kingdoms.
Oh, fuck. It's Robert Baratheon. The fuck is his name, though? I just recently looked at him and read his name. Why? What movie? Fuck.
The Knight's Tale.
Yeah, no, it wasn't A Knight's Tale. It was something else.
I don't know his name.
Yeah, I don't know. He's Robert Baratheon.
Richard something?
It is Robert Baratheon, but his real name is Mark Addy.
Yes.
It is Mark
yes.
Addy's birthday today.
Why did I just see his name? I was looking up a movie with him in it. I don't know. Anyway.
I'm going to say he's 52.
Okay.
Mark Addy. 56.
Ooh, 57. Mark Addy is 57 years old today.
Okay.
Almost strictly a musician. He's a fighter, a queen, and knows a thing or two about Nirvana. He contributes constantly to the music community, and they say, "There goes my hero."
Is David Grohl?
It's Dave Grohl. Yes. How old do you think? Jeez, Matt. So you got a point. Sorry, you get a 0.5 for Mark Addy,
Baratheon.
and you get a full point for that.
Yeah. Shit. David Grohl.
I feel like they're all around the same age, these people.
There's a lot of similar ages. Carl Weathers was the outlier.
I'm going to say that Dave Grohl is 54.
51.
Oh, it was
Two?
on the tip of your tongue.
Is it 52?
It's
Fuck.
52.
Damn.
Idiot.
All right, here's my last one. This actor-director always seems to play the bad guy with good intentions and horrible bosses. Both his money laundering family and foul-mouthed friend are very real.
Jason Bateman.
It's Jason Bateman.
Very good. Very good.
Hey.
Very good callback.
He's not real.
Very good callback.
No,
Yeah.
I've seen the movie.
How old do you think Jason Bateman is today?
He's the type of person I couldn't even begin.
Yeah.
I will say again, he is. Carl Weathers is the outlier today.
48?
Jason Bateman is 49.
52.
All right.
Him and
Again?
Dave Grohl, same birthday.
God damn.
Pretty cool.
That is cool. Same birth.
So,
Wow, born on the
Ryan,
same
you
day.
got that last one, 11.5.
That's
All
it.
right. So, updated standings are Matt charged today with 10.5.
I got an extra week of points. Usually I
Sure.
wouldn't get any points today.
Ryan
I'll leave it out.
still with the lead at 12.5.
Let's go.
I've got 9, and Mitch has 1.
Nice. Nice. Which one did Mitch get? Dan Harmon.
Dan Harmon.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And that's it for celebrity birthdays.
Ryan, thank you for the intro, the new intro.
You're welcome.
It's fantastic. We'll play it again.
Okay.
It's Michael Scott. All right. What are we watching? Adam, lead it off.
All right, so
Adam's got notes.
I took notes. I watched
Copious.
So I watched a few things this week that Matt and Ryan have both wanted me to watch for quite some time, and I'm happy to report that I enjoyed both of them. The first one, I'm just like gonna run through my notes so these we don't get bogged down too long.
Okay.
I watched Looper for the first time
Didn't we already talk about this?
We talked about through text.
through text.
Okay.
So I watched Looper for the first time. I will go as far as saying is that Looper, I don't have like a list in front of me of all my favorite movies, but I would put Looper somewhere like the top 10, top 15
Oh, wow.
of my
Great
favorite
movie.
movies. I
Yeah.
really liked it. So I love the aesthetic. It's futuristic, but it feels like the Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character is living in the past, especially compared to like the future. I had no idea Paul Dano was in it, even though he's like a very small part. I didn't know that there was like telekinetics involved in the storyline. I thought that was really cool, like another level on top of the whole, time machine part of the movie. The idea of closing the loop yourself is sick. Like you have to kill yourself.
Yeah.
That is sick. And then you go into retirement for 30 years and blow all your gold.
Yeah.
That's insane. Fucking Jeff Daniels was in it. I had no idea. Played such like a good sort of cool mafia boss. So to avoid, one of my questions was to avoid a situation what happens to Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character Joe. Why doesn't another looper close someone else's loop?
Yeah, I think it's
Like part, it's I know it's they have a contract.
yeah, I don't know if it's like a hard and fast like I don't think there's like any certain reason for it why they have to close their own loop, but I think that it adds to the drama of it all.
Yeah.
I think it's just an extra like writing trope, like a trope they added in, just like that's kind of cool.
I mean,
Keep
it's
it
also like
suspenseful.
the signal of their retirement too.
yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean? Like you're done.
Yeah. It's like that's like such a weird like high and low of like that's such a weird mix of emotions. It's like you do this all the time. You kill these people they send back.
Yeah.
But at some point, and you don't know when, you're gonna kill yourself and you're not gonna know it.
Right.
So you're just yanking the trigger as soon as that person shows up.
Yep.
And that's pretty wild. I like that.
I thought the prosthetics on Joseph Gordon-Levitt to
Yeah.
make him look more like Bruce Willis were awesome.
Yeah.
I thought they did a really good job with that. And not only that, Joseph Gordon-Levitt nails like that signature Bruce Willis charm. The scene where the young Joe is in the office with Jeff Daniels for the first time in the movie. He does like that deep side smirk that Bruce Willis does all the time, and like it was spot on. Like
Yeah.
he was smirking like this, had his eyes closed, shaking his head. I was like, fuck, that's Bruce Willis. He was really well done.
Every time I see Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I just wish he was in more stuff.
Right?
He's
Yeah.
so good in everything.
I would have loved to see more of his lost 30 years. Because he's just like running around like a madman in Shanghai. And then like you start to see him like, going off the rails, doing more drugs. Like he's killing people. His hair's long. He's a wild man. I would have loved to see more of that. The kid that ends up being the Rainmaker. That, first of all, I had no idea Emily Blunt was in the movie either.
Yeah.
So that was really surprising and really cool to see. The kid that ends up being the Rainmaker in the future time, that kid is a star. What is he doing these days? Like, I don't know. I thought he was really good in his limited role of like this enraged child, and how the end like all came together. I thought that was great too. Like how he turned the spoiler alert, like he knows he sees it. He sees how the Rainmaker, who is the big bad in the movie, doesn't really do anything bad in the movie that you see, but his legend says that he grows up to be like a telekinetic monster and takes over the crime world on his own. So the only way he sees how this happens, if his protector Emily Blunt dies, that's when he snaps. And he knows in that moment that if he needs to kill himself before his future self can kill Emily Blunt. I thought that like how he closed his own loop was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool.
That's all my notes for that movie. I really liked it. I'd really like to watch it again just to pick up on other stuff, but I was psyched. I finally was able to watch that. I also watched Chappie, another Neil Blomkamp movie. Mm-hmm. I was texting the guys about this, and so his movies are District 9, Elysium, which I watched recently also, and Chappie. District 9 is of those three my favorite, but I would put Chappie at a 1B. It looked amazing. The robots in the world.
I saw it. I haven't seen it.
Oh, they looked amazing. Like they're actually there, and the way they interact with the human actors. The robot, it fits seamlessly. And Neil Blomkamp does a really good job of building that world in South Africa, where it's governed by a predominantly robotic police force. I thought the cast was really good. It's like no names. The two people, like the gang members. The guy ninja and the other girl, I forget her name.
So
they're actual South African rappers.
Yeah, so that's
a rap group.
Die Antwood. That's the one I was telling you guys about. It's this rap group, Die Antwood. They're really strange.
Yeah,
but they play a really good role. Yeah,
they did. They were both really good. Baby Chappie reminded me, like when I want to say Baby Chappie, like so when the robot first gets its consciousness, it's like a baby, but in a robot body, and it like how it thinks. You can, it talks, but it reminds me.
It's very impressionable. It's
reminds me of how. That's probably how Chase thinks. My dog. Oh, Chase likes this. Chase doesn't like this. So the Hugh Jackman is in it. He plays the villain of the movie, and he's typically the good guy. And
yeah,
it's really cool to see him as a bad guy. Like he gets really fucking intense in this movie.
I'll have to watch it. I was trying to find it the other day.
And he
it's on my thing if you have access to it. Yeah.
I won't give you any spoilers because you might want to watch this, but there's a point in the movie where like Hugh Jackman does something and the stakes of the movie get really high.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like it brought the movie to another level. The final act of the movie caught me completely by surprise. I couldn't have been happier with how it ended.
Yeah. Neil Blomkamp does this really cool thing with his movies. Those three movies in particular, District 9, Elysium, and Chappie. He does this really cool thing at the end of the movie where like something really like game-changing for the people involved in that movie like happens, and then he just pulls back from it and ends the movie. Mm-hmm. And like it's like the world has been turned upside down, to quote Hamilton, and now there's this whole new reality for these people in these. It's really cool. His movies like that are unique to like more than anybody else. He doesn't have to dial into it at all.
Right.
You know what's going on, and he just like he shows you what's gonna happen, and that's it. And he pulls away.
Like you think something is gonna happen, and something completely different happens, and instead of being disappointed by it, you're like, "Holy shit, this is even better than I could have imagined." Apparently, there's an alternate ending that I won't discuss.
I don't know if I know that.
I will talk about it with you offline. I didn't know that. I just looked it up afterwards. And another cool thing I didn't know is Hans Zimmer did the score of this movie. Like, why? This guy should never stop doing scores. He's amazing.
They're gonna die eventually.
But I highly recommend Chappie. That was a really good.
Not if you watch Chappie, maybe he doesn't have to die.
I also watched. So I love Westworld. I loved season 1. Season 2 was really good, and I had heard, not negative, but sort of mixed reviews about season 3. So I went into it, knowing that some of the people that watched similar things to me that didn't, might not have enjoyed it as much. I really loved season 3. It's like I treated it almost as a separate show. So you've got familiar characters and sort of a familiar world, but they expand upon it. So seasons 1 and 2 is set in the parks, like Westworld and Shogun World, but this one is set in the real world. And there's a new villain for you, and it's really cool how they build him up. And I just it could have been a new show, but I still loved it. But something I liked about it the most is that the first 2 seasons are both 10 episodes apiece. This season is 8 episodes, and I thought that the pacing of this season was much better. Because there were some episodes in season 2 you're like, oh my god, I just need to get to the next episode. And even in season 1, like, it took 5 or 6 episodes before you got like your big payoff. Like, oh my god, this show is wild. But this one, it gets you into it almost right away, and the storylines are all accelerated, and I think that's because of the 8 episode limit. So I'm really excited for if and when they do a season 4.
I still couldn't get into season 2. I tried twice.
Yeah, I've only tried once, but I also just kind of it didn't like excite me, but I just kind of walked away from it and never went back to it. But I do that with a lot of shows. Like if I get sidetracked by another thing, then I won't go back and watch it right away.
I think it's almost because I know it's such an investment.
Yeah, you've got to watch those shows. Like I could never imagine watching those shows, this show, weekly. I need to watch it in fucking 2 days, 3 days. I need to watch them all together because that's the way it fits the best for me. There's a really fun Game of Thrones Easter egg. I think it's in episode 1 of season 3, a really fun one. I won't say what it is, so it's very obvious. I don't know if you call it an Easter egg because it's very obvious, but it's really cool. And then I was thinking about like the filming challenges with this because you guys have both seen season 1 and how they like reset the park every night. And it just really dawned on me this season, especially with the character Maeve. Like, she must film all, like, there's a part where she's in a world, it's like Nazi Germany, and she's still in a park. And I wonder if they just must film all of those boom, boom, boom in one shot. You know what I mean? Not in one day, but like keep everybody together for those scenes. But it must be weird for her because like she's in that part in episode 1, and she's at one stage in her arc for that season, and then you see her at a completely different place in the storyline in her arc in episode 6, let's say, and like she's got a whole different mindset. So like on set when she's actually filming, it must be really challenging for her to like switch mindsets like that. I thought I was thinking about that. I thought it might be pretty interesting. But I really liked season 3. I thought Aaron Paul was awesome in it, and Evan Rachel Wood plays Dolores Abernathy, the main character, and she was also very good in it. What's his face is playing Commissioner Gordon.
Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright. Yeah, he wasn't in it as much as the first 2 seasons. I'm not sure why, but there's that, and it must be really cool for these actors to like play robots that can live in different worlds and be different people, but be in their own skin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I also watched Face Off for the first time ever.
Fantastic.
Face Off. This movie was awesome. I loved it. And there was a part in it I couldn't stop thinking about Ryan and his love for The Office, because we always joke around like, hey, Scarn, how's your wife? There's a part in this movie where one of the characters says to Sean Archer, John Travolta, they go, hey, Sean, how's your dead son? I'm like, oh, my God, this must be where they got it from. That's terrible.
He probably did take some of Threat Level Midnight, or the writers.
I've never seen so much jumping and diving and shooting in a movie. Yeah. That was really fun. the casting was great. Travolta and Nicolas Cage, they must have had a lot of fun, like playing one character and then playing another one, sort of like another one in their own skin. There's one. There's a lot of threat level midnight stuff that I saw in it, which was cool. And there's one part I wanted to know. So you guys have both seen it, right?
I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, I've seen it, but yeah, no.
So the part where, all right, so Travolta is in Nick Cage's body.
Yeah.
Travolta is Cage.
Yeah.
And he goes back to like Nicolas Cage's, I forget his name in the movie, but his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he finds out like, oh, this is his son. You know that part?
Right. Yes.
And he's at like
he's trying to figure out his life.
right, and he's like they're at like the drug dealer's compound or
Right.
whatever. And there's a part in that I forget Nick Cassavetes plays the drug dealer.
Okay.
And there's a part in the drug dealer and Nicolas Cage's baby mama are brother and sister. And there's one part during the gunfight where he's like, I'm gonna, you get out of here. I'm gonna save you. And they kiss each other on the lips. And I was like, aren't they brother and sister? I thought it was really
Maybe
weird.
there's like a deleted scene where they were adopted and they forgot to.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But I mean, sometimes
I was really puzzled by that part.
sometimes families are weird.
They guess you don't let them live.
But
that movie's in the overacting Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was. But I really enjoyed it. Just a couple other ones I'm going to run through. I watched Kung Fury. Matt, did you watch that? The link that Sean sent us?
Yes, yeah.
Fucking hilarious.
Unbelievable.
My favorite part of that is like 2 minutes in when he jumps out the window and he starts shooting in his car to open the door.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part. So it's like
you have to watch this. Yeah, bring it up on your computer. It's called Kung Fury. It's a half-hour movie on YouTube.
And so just to compound off of that, they're making a Kung Fury 2.
Yeah.
Michael Fassbender is in it.
I heard that
and
it's
Arnold
stuck,
Schwarzenegger
though.
is in it.
I heard that it's having trouble getting funding for the last bit of the editing or whatever.
Yeah, so I think it's in like post-production hell
2015?
right now.
What?
2015.
Yes. Yeah. Just watch the first
Not now, obviously.
Yeah,
it's only a half
well,
hour.
Yeah, watch the
I'll
whole
watch it
thing,
tomorrow.
but it's unreal. It's the most over the top. We're talking about over the top. It's just, it's. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. It's camp. It's like action movie camp. Just volume knob turned to 11.
Yeah.
It's just that's all it is. And the guy, like Adam said, this thing starts out and he's like this superhero, and he's in his apartment and he jumps out the window off the roof of the building, and he's shooting down at his car to open the door of the car so you could get into it.
his car and go fight crime.
It's absolutely insane. It's
Can he
insane.
fly?
No. He's just it's just I don't even know the way you describe it as. He's it's like if a Chuck Norris joke came to life.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of shit.
Adolf Hitler is one of the characters.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
George Cohn plays Adolf Hitler.
Yeah,
He loves playing Adolf Hitler. I think I've seen him as Adolf Hitler multiple
That's gotta be
times.
tough to get typecast as Adolf Hitler, right?
He's more of a director.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Writer.
I also watched the first 12 episodes of Lost. I gotta tell you, we watched six episodes and 6 episodes, and I'm enjoying it. I don't know if it can keep my attention for 120 episodes,
King.
but I'm gonna keep going. So we'll see.
It's worth it. It's a really fun show.
Lindy and I have found a good rhythm where we will watch one episode a night, during dinner. While we eat dinner, we'll watch, and then that'll be it. And we'll want to watch another one, but we'll both decide that the episode is kind of long.
Like 45 minutes. Yeah.
They're long, and we both decide that instead of starting another one, just take that cliffhanger and move it to the next night for the excitement for the next one. So that it really gets tired. I haven't been tired of it yet. And if I was watching it on my own, I'd probably be done with it, because we're watching it together. We have to keep to a schedule. So
See, I watch as many until I fall asleep.
I also watched Mr. Mayor with Ted Danson and Bobby Moynihan. There's only 2 episodes. It's a new show. I think it's really funny. It's just a comedy. Tina Fey is one of the creators.
unless I hear a show like that is super exceptional, like a network TV sitcom, it's a sitcom, right?
You're not going to invest.
I'm going to wait until it's has a few seasons behind it and comes to a streaming service.
That's what I did with The Good Place.
Yeah, I'm just kind of I don't really. There's only a few shows that I have to watch as appointment television now.
Right. Yeah,
And
I just recorded them and they're 20 minutes long each, so I just watched them.
There's just too much other shit to watch. If it ends up picking up speed and it ends up getting good and it has 4, 5, 6 seasons, then it'll be watchable somewhere eventually.
Yeah. Jen and I, in a sprint, because it's going off of Netflix tomorrow, watched Waco on Netflix.
Wacko?
Yes.
It's coming off of Netflix?
Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday. Really interesting. That Michael Shannon and what's his face?
Taylor Kitsch.
Yeah, Taylor
Kitsch.
They both like acted like hell in that movie. I thought they were both really good. It's crazy because this happened like 93 or 94, and I like remember it even though I was like 4 years old.
It's nuts.
4 or 5 years old. It was nuts. And this is like, so it's from 2 books. They pull this together from 2 books. One book is from the FBI negotiator that Michael Shannon plays, from his perspective. And the other book is from, his name is David Thibodeau, and he was one of the people inside the compound when for the 50-day standoff where it happened. And so you get to see like why they were there and, what the ATF did to basically start this, this standoff. Basically,
they handled it so poorly.
So they got a tip. So there was a situation in Idaho 9 months prior where the ATF and somewhat FBI like botched a standoff, and they needed some good publicity, and they got a tip that this religious group down in Texas was hoarding guns, and they were. But they were hoarding them. They weren't selling them. They weren't using them. They were just like, for the end of the world. They were just had them there. But they weren't bothering anybody. The sheriff in the town didn't even carry a gun. Like, they were just minding their own business. Yes, what's his name? David Koresh was, fanatic and eccentric, and he had multiple wives and was married to underage women, which is bad. But they weren't bothering anybody, and the ATF brought with no evidence of the guns, because they had a guy from the ATF that John Leguizamo plays go inside. He searched, he couldn't find them, and the ATF comes with tanks, helicopters, caravans full of armed police officers, and John Leguizamo's character is like in the street telling them, don't go in there. There's nothing. Like, I haven't seen anything. There's women and children, and like everything goes to hell. It's a really interesting perspective on what happened there.
So I watched like a couple documentaries on like the whole situation.
Yeah.
But it's cool because normally documentaries would favor like the police response and kind of just, frame them as like a crazy cult.
Yeah.
Which they gave the facts like of what you said about how like the leader was a fanatic and a nut, but like the way the ATF and the FBI handled it made it so much worse.
Right.
And didn't they just like set everything on fire, right? They like bulldozed the
So they like
compound.
bulldozed their property. They They took tanks, loaded them up with tear gas, crashed the tanks into the house, and like unloaded tear gas in there, knowing that there were children in there. That they don't make masks like that for children. They knew that.
Yeah.
And like in total, 70 something people died, and 25 of them were children. And when you crash a fucking tank into a house, it breaks structurally. Yeah. So like all the women and children were, they saw the tanks coming, so they went into this vault. So they crashed the tanks into the vault, and they couldn't get out.
Yeah.
So it was terrible.
Yeah.
But it was a really interesting watch. And sorry I'm going long here, but last but not least, I watched something that you guys have both seen and talked about on multiple episodes. So I'm just going to run through it because I really enjoyed it. I watched Heaven's Gate, The Cult of Cults.
Yay.
Burned through all 4 episodes in one night. And these are my notes. Like, I have a lot of notes. Doe and T were on one giant acid trip this entire time. I'm convinced of it. I'm convinced that they went out to Oregon. They took acid because that happens. Like, people take acid and you never come down.
Yeah, but
he was committed though.
Doe was maybe, but T had those moments where you see behind the curtain she was writing letters to her daughter.
Yeah,
like
I got that in here.
Okay, all right.
I thought one thing that was interesting, the flyers that they put up around the towns, that's like a step below our parents believing everything they see on the internet. Whoa, UFOs? Go up on a spaceship? If I see it, it must be real.
It's a different time. Imagine someone seeing that now and being like, no, I'm not fucking going to that. Yeah.
If you were an adult in the 70s, you looked like a creep. Everybody in that documentary looked like a creep.
The haircut
glasses,
was doing me favors.
and the hair, and the
outfits.
clothes.
Yeah.
I thought one thing that was crazy was the sociologist from Montana that went undercover and was like trying to find these people.
Yeah.
Just like went out to the middle of fucking nowhere and then just got in a car. That's insane. Because you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah. Fucking weird. Weird people.
They amassed like all these followers with nothing. No force, like no hallucinogens that we think, nothing. There was a textbook and like it was specific words for specific things and like even a specific way how to make pancakes. That's fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I just think we underestimate how badly people need some type of structure or something to believe in or to have some type of control in their lives.
And like when you guys were explaining this to me, I'm like, oh, these people must be lonely or stupid or something, but they were like just regular people looking for something missing something, looking for something to grab onto. The no sex thing, I'm out.
It's weird.
That's a no for me,
dog. How about the fact that like people like they highlight that guy who got out, but his girlfriend didn't. Like, couples went in and then that was it. Like they just weren't together. Yeah,
it's like a goblin.
Yeah, they just like weren't together anymore.
I felt so bad for that guy.
That's weird.
Yeah. But
it's fucked up.
It is.
The part where they were traveling around the United States in campers together, that reminded me a lot of Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, that reminded me of Twister.
Stephen King. Twister?
Yeah, because they have their little convoy.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, Dr. Sleep is like, different than fucking whatever. When I think of convoys, I think of Twister.
Bro, we've almost got it.
The part where T was writing her daughter letters, and like she had her fucking eye removed, and like
and they weren't. She was like very close.
My heart was like broken for that daughter.
Proximity. She didn't realize they were
4 hours. 4 hours away.
Yeah, a few hours away. Yep.
The part where they say like where it gets into like after T dies, up until T died, they were expecting like a body transformation, and then the guy just flipped his switch. Yeah. And all of a sudden, it was a spiral transformation. So he didn't have T to, like, reel him in anymore.
Yeah. Well, he also didn't have that, like, I guess they really didn't experience death within the group.
There was no proof.
Right.
Yeah. Like, you couldn't prove that. Like, the body was still there.
Yeah.
I have on here Daddy Complex. Oh,
for another notepad for another situation.
Mixing my notepads up.
No, so Doe's father was a minister, right? And Doe was very obviously gay, and I guess refused to come out as gay, but like wanted to prove to his father and to everyone else that he could do what his father does. I don't know where I went with this.
Well, because he believed in being like asexual, like you shouldn't be attracted to men or women or anything.
Yeah,
that was like a fault.
Right, but one of my big takeaways from this was like this very well could have stemmed. Doe being the way he was could have very well stemmed from like his father just not being able to accept that he had a gay son. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Took it to the extreme.
How about how Doe wanted to turn himself in after the botched castration?
Yeah.
And like they wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
They were like, no, it's all right. We'll try again.
I think it's just like, but now they're losing that control. There's like the one thing they had that they could depend on.
They needed him.
Like if he turns himself in, then they go back to what?
If I was that guy who like decided to volunteer to get castrated,
sorority.
Yeah, sorority. I would look around and be like, "Hey, you guys have been around since like the '70s. How come no one else has gotten castrated? Why are we? Why is this?
So he was there since the beginning, though.
Yeah. Why are we doing this now? What is the?
Apparently, though, a bunch of them did.
This is gonna
help. They got like a doctor to do it, like including Doe.
But it's like if I was in a cult and we had been around for X many years and not once did it come up that we should be castrated, then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, this is what needs to be done. It needs to be I'd be like,
maybe
you
kick the castration guy out.
Yeah, maybe we'd be like, "Hey, let's not listen to him."
I thought it was wild that some people left and went back 3 times. That just shows how they really took this what Doe was preaching to heart. Like they really internalized it to be their religion. Sawyer, like one of the main guys in the documentary, he left.
Guy's not very good at flute.
And Doe let him go. But like he still believes.
Yeah, right. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. And then also all the people that killed themselves that weren't at the complex. They were in the group and they left, and then they were like, "Oh, it's time. Like we have to go. I have to go."
At one point, one of the, I think it was episode 3, they ended the episode, and the name of the song that was played in the credits was called "I Saw the Sign." That song's a jam.
I saw the sign.
Forgot about that. They opened episode 4, and they like Doe invented his own song for the group after The Sound of Music. That was really something.
Haunting.
I thought it was odd how they celebrated Christmas and had a talent show, because they're like supposed to strip themselves of everything personal.
Yeah.
And like being human, and like what's more human than
he's
having a
definitely making
talent
it up
show
as they went.
He was playing fast and loose with it, and also with a mental sickness like what he had.
Yeah.
He probably had days where like everything was super strict, and other days where it was like, oh yeah,
It
today we're
on
gonna
his
watch
mood.
The Sound of Music 3 times.
Yeah.
I might have missed this, but how did they ended up, the mass suicide was in a mansion. How did they get all that money?
So that's what I was saying. I don't.
So it was an inheritance. One of the
There was a trust fund somewhere.
Yeah.
I must have missed that.
Yeah, it was one of the members that like one of like the really dedicated members. Their grandfather or one of their grandparents died.
Yeah.
And left them like millions of dollars.
Oh, okay.
And they used it literally to just fund Heaven's Gate.
Crazy.
I thought it was wild how one of the people that killed themselves was a brother of an actress that was on Star Trek, and they loved Star Trek.
Yeah.
And the part we just mentioned this earlier, the part at the end where the letters to T's daughter come back around at the big gathering, I was like, my jaw almost dropped. I was like, holy shit, these people must have lost their minds.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was like some type of uprising, but they made it seem like everyone was just shocked. They weren't mad at the daughter, but that was terrible. Then I also felt really bad for the girl. She looked like what's her face from The Breakfast Club.
Molly
Ringwald?
Yeah, the redheaded girl.
Yeah.
And like her parents left her when she was 10, and then they came back to her when she was like, I don't know, in her teens or 20s, and then they left again. They kept coming back and leaving, and then the mother is in the mass suicide, and then the father like kills himself.
Yeah.
Days later or whatever it was. Like I felt so terrible for those people.
So fucked up.
They really internalized it. They couldn't have been happier to end their lives in those exit videos, and it was like fucking shocking.
Yeah, they were like ready. There was no hesitation.
None.
Of them. It's
They
crazy.
were all in, but it was a
Crazy.
good watch. I'm glad I watched it. I'll
Also-
start taking your documentary advice more often.
It must have been a fucking violent sight to see everybody like strangulating people, essentially, like putting the bag over their heads and
so
killing them.
it was like pudding with pills in it,
right.
And then
And then the bag to cut off the thing. But there definitely had to be some people that were struggling towards the end, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, it's human. Like your body's gonna fight back against that.
Yeah. Fucked up. Oh my god. But very fascinating.
and
at
they
the same time.
like because of that they must have been like the last. So there was 3 rounds of people, and then 2 people that weren't covered in the purple sheets.
Yeah.
I got to imagine that they must have like posed them to look peaceful like that. You know what I
Probably.
mean?
Yeah.
Because like if you're suffocating yourself, and I don't know.
It couldn't have been peaceful as is.
Oh shit! And the part where they like the video, I always like, because you've seen pieces of the video, but I always thought that was like police video, but no, that was like a former member who got like the heads up.
Yep, and went in and videotaped.
Yeah.
Fucked up. Yeah,
That was
so
crazy.
totally fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But
Jesus.
good watch. I
you
think
go.
next I'm gonna go down the Going Clear, the Scientology one.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm gonna watch that one next.
All right, I'll go through mine quick. I
Yeah,
don't
right.
really have
Sorry.
much new. So I've been watching the Twilight Zone again, the old show. There's one that popped out at me that I thought was really good and could make for a really good modern day sci-fi movie. The episode was called "The Lateness of the Hour," and it was written by Rod Serling, which a lot of this at this time were the guy who also hosts the show. It was in 1960, I think, and essentially the plot of it was this older couple. They live in this giant mansion, and they have this like young, beautiful daughter. She probably, I think they probably like play her out to be like maybe she's like 20, 22. But she's frustrated because they never leave the walls of this mansion. Like they never go outside. It's just they have their servants that live in the house with them, and that's it. And then it's like this whole thing where like she's like looking through photo albums, and she's like not seeing any pictures of like when she was young and all this stuff. And it turns out that like you know that all of the servants are robots. They're all just robots. Like that's just they're made by this guy who lives in the house, her dad. And then you come to find out that like she is also a robot. That was the big twist. I mean, I don't want to. It's you'll have to watch it to get the full effect. But thought it was really interesting because.
So could they not have children?
So the original daughter died. And so they kept remaking her as a robot, and every time she found out that she was a robot, they would decommission her and make a new one.
So I feel like I
fucked up. So it wasn't that the daughter died. Sorry, it was that they couldn't have kids because there was no pictures of her as a young girl, and that's what triggered her this time around. Is that she saw no photos of herself, so they couldn't have kids, and so they made a kid. But I thought it was really interesting that this could have been like stretched out because like there's really good like I don't know, it's very interesting. And so like this guy. And then like at the end, like in Twilight Zone fashion, he decommissions his daughter, and then there's a flash forward a few weeks later or whatever, and she's one of the servants like cleaning the house. They recommission the robot not as her daughter, but as someone who is just another servant in the house. It's pretty cool.
Wow, that sounds cool.
I feel like that like type of storyline has been like bits of it have been used.
Twilight Zone has this show has a lot of great like ideas for like modern science fiction movies,
especially like with all the technology, or if you're just like putting like a modern twist on it.
Yeah, so I love the Twilight Zone. It's on Hulu if anyone wants to watch it. Still watching Community on season 2 right now. Loving it. Very funny. Started Snowpiercer, the show on HBO with David Diggs. He's in Hamilton.
Ned Stark, right? Doesn't Ned Stark play the rich guy?
I haven't seen. Oh yes. Sorry, yes. Sean Bean. Yes. He's in it, and then also Jennifer Connelly is in it as well. Woo! Right, exactly.
I love Jennifer Connelly.
So it's good. It's very good. I like it. I'm on the second or third episode. I've watched 2 episodes. Snowpiercer, good. We started watching Wilfred, which is a show that I've been wanting to watch, but I haven't. It's very unique, very funny. I like. I don't know who I recognize him, but I don't know his name. The actor who plays Wilfred. Like who plays the dog?
Jason Gann. He's in I remember when this came out. He's in like nothing else. He's Australian.
I recognize him, but I don't know if maybe because I'm watching it now, I just recognize him as Wilfred from when it was original. Because it came out a long time ago, right?
Yeah, when we were in college.
So it's funny. I like it. Really enjoying it. Essentially, the plot. Do you understand the plot? Like
I remember because I love FX, so I would always watch like whatever show I was watching FX at the time, and Wilfred would always there'd be a promo for it.
Yeah.
And I just never interested me.
It's goofy and funny and
it's like demented too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very demented. So the Frodo, what the fuck is his name?
Elijah Wood.
Wow, Elijah Wood lives in this house, and his next door neighbor is this like really cute girl, and she has a dog. But the dog to him just looks like a person in a dog costume, and he can speak English and like talk to him, but to everybody else he's just a dog.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
He's
it's like
an asshole.
Yeah, he starts off this like Elijah Wood starts off the series by he's like writing a suicide note. He like wants to kill himself, and he takes all these pills, and he thinks that instead of killing himself, it just like, made a side effect that the dog is like he can see he's tripping essentially. But it's not. Like as far as I know, I've only watched a few episodes, but as far as I know, it's just he has the experience of seeing Wilfred as a human.
So the guy who plays Wilfred reminds me of
the guy from the Mick?
No, he's an Australian comedian, like very popular Australian comedian.
Jim Jeffries?
Yes.
Yeah, it does remind me.
Maybe that's who I think he is.
He looks just like Jim Jeffries.
Yeah, maybe that's who I think he is.
And obviously they talk
all
the same.
Australians look alike to you, huh?
They do.
They do. And then I watched Vice.
For the first time. Christian Bale?
Yes.
Yeah, I've never
Did you
seen
ever
it.
see Vice?
No.
Oh, you have to watch Vice.
Yeah?
Have you seen it?
No.
You got to watch it. It's very good.
Like dynamite cast, right? Steve Carell.
Oh, yeah. Steve Carell.
What's his name? Sam Rockwell is in it,
Sam
right?
Rockwell. Christian Bale. I'm looking up the...
Amy Adams.
Yep, Amy
The
Adams
only thing as much as I like those like Big Short and stuff, Adam McKay has a very like fast and loose version of history. Like he has his opinions on how these people were, and kind of hammers it home.
There's definitely a lot of that.
Not that they were good people, but
yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of that for sure. But I feel like they went easy on him. I feel like I thought it was just going to be not a propaganda movie, but I thought it was just going to be like
fuck Bush, fuck Cheney.
Dick Cheney's a real bad guy. Here's a movie about how he's a bad guy. But it was more complicated than that too, I think. So, but Adam McKay does a really good job like with his movies, and like with this one, it's like there's a part. It's not a spoiler, but there's a part where like it's right before the presidency, I think, when he gets elected as vice president, and they're like all of a sudden like it's like an hour into the movie, and all of a sudden like the credits start rolling, and like it's just happy, and it's like, and Dick Cheney went on and he was a great vice president, and he stayed home, and he had something happened, and he was like, and there was like this nice time where he was like out of politics and he was home with his family, and he's like, and his daughter did this, and
didn't he?
and you know, he was fishing every day, and he had this great life, and his wife wrote 3 books, New York Times bestseller, and then it's like the credits start rolling, and then it like cuts off, and it's like, well, that's not what actually happened, and then it cuts back to the movie. It was pretty cool how they kind of mess around. There's a few parts in the movies where they do that, where they kind of psych you out. It was good. The acting is terrific. Like Christian Bale's was so good. Yeah. So
his daughter just voted to impeach Trump. One of the few GOP people. His daughter Liz is like
Liz Cheney.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Like in real life.
Yeah. I thought you would say Christian Bale's daughter.
Yes.
Like,
she's very young.
Yeah, but he was very good. Sam Rockwell was good as Bush. Thought that was funny. Thought that was good. And then Steve Carell was Donald Rumsfeld.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
That kind of follows Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, because he was in the Nixon administration, and then also, he was in politics a lot, but he was also the Secretary of Defense during the George W. administration. Yeah. Very good. Liked it a lot.
All right, I'll definitely have to watch it. I've been meaning to, and it's always like it always pops up, and I don't know why. I just don't. I know I'm gonna like it.
It's good. You'll like it. Yeah.
Ryan, what do you got?
All right. So I watched. Mine's actually pretty star-studded. A lot of first-time watches for me of a lot of really good movies.
I'm looking at this. I love it.
It looks like the first, up until you get to the last one, really is it looks like it could be mine.
Yeah.
Or Matt's.
Yeah.
So Ready Player One, I'd never seen. Adored it. Absolutely unbelievable.
Awesome.
So good. Like from the word go, it was unbelievable. Ty Sheridan, who I love, was fantastic in it. Like just the blend of like having the actual actors and like the virtual reality part. Mm-hmm. I think Steven Spielberg's got a career in this.
I think he could go places.
Yeah,
it was like the scene at the beginning, like when they're first doing the track.
Yeah,
with like King Kong and
awesome
T-Rex. It's like
that
I would just watch like a movie of just that. It was so awesome, so good.
I've never read a book faster than Ready Player One. I honestly think 2 sittings, and I read that book.
I would be interested in reading that book.
Yeah.
Just based on the movie. I mean, I know you're supposed to do it the other way around.
Right. But no, you'd still enjoy the book. Definitely.
But yeah, it was just, Ben Mendelsohn was a good bad guy, but he wasn't too like over the top villainy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was just like a corporate
a
corporate guy who like wanted to make money and keep what he had.
I feel like you call Ben Mendelsohn now if you want a solid, nothing too great, but you want a really solid. Like he's gonna perform it, and it's gonna be exactly how you expected it on paper. Like there's not gonna be any flourishes of over the top. But like he's putting those roles a lot now. Rogue One.
Yep.
Now he's in the MCU pretty heavily because now his character's coming back in the show, right?
Even though he wasn't really the bad guy in Captain Marvel.
No, but I'm just saying, like, just as like just as a solid actor. But yeah.
Have you ever seen, or either of you ever seen, it's the Netflix show with him and Kyle Chandler, based in Florida?
No, I tried to watch it.
Lindy has seen it. She really likes it.
So you gotta watch that because he's unbelievable in that. Both of them. It's about their family. I don't know why I can't think of the name of it.
Shit, what was it? Yeah, Lindy tells me about it all the time.
I think it's like a one-word name or the something.
I'm getting
like a motel, right? Or a hotel.
Yeah. So it's Sissy Spacek is the mom.
Bloodline.
It's unbelievable, and he like knocks it out of the park there. So you can see if he ever needed to, like, bring it up to a different level, which like this movie might not have called for it, and maybe the Star Wars ones don't. Mm-hmm. Or he's
a really good actor.
He's just awesome. But I loved it. I thought the gang of Ty Sheridan, Olivia Cooke, and Lena Waithe was really cool.
Yeah.
Like finding out Lena Waithe was the woman behind like that huge guy. Was really cool. And then T.J. Miller like very good, very like understated.
Yeah, yeah.
He was. I mean, I don't think you ever see him. I know I think he's just the voice of that like henchman. But I thought he was really good.
Oh,
yeah.
Also, as like a little but a side note in Westworld season 3, like Aaron Paul is like does criminal activity, and he's got 2 friends. One is Lena Waithe, and the other one is Marshawn Lynch.
So, I heard that.
Just as a sidebar. Sorry, I didn't mean to backtrack.
No, that's funny.
But yeah, it was, and he was really like very limited role, but he was good. You know what I mean? He had 2 good actors to play off of. But
whenever he's like pops in, he does.
He's just himself,
right?
But in the future,
yeah.
So
nothing wrong with that. Soundtrack was great. It was just like all like Billy Joel, like 70s, 80s, 90s music. I really loved that. I love the scene when Ben Mendelsohn's character's like in like the VR set.
Yeah.
But they come and like get him, and he thinks he's in real life.
Yeah.
And they're trying to. It was so cool.
Cool thing. They don't. That's not in the book.
No,
that's not.
They're a little. They're different.
Yeah,
they're different.
That was a
same sort of
really
end
cool
game
moment. I like that. Yeah.
I just thought it was awesome.
And like the challenges to get the eggs.
Yeah, the keys.
Yeah, that's what I wanted
keys.
To mention
they're different too.
Mark Rylance was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like playing that like weird like gamer like creator
quirky guy.
Yeah.
He was.
Man.
He kind of like it's almost like he's he almost plays like a Steve Jobs character.
Yeah.
Right? Or like a mix of like that kind of like Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs like type of person.
Because you figure like you'd have to be a little quirky, a little odd to be able to create something like this.
Yeah.
Which he nails.
Yeah.
But it never goes like too far.
Yeah.
So any time he was in a scene I thought was really cool, especially at the end when like he like Ty Sheridan's character like finishes or wins the challenge and wins the game.
I'm a huge fan of Simon Pegg's role as the what is he? He's like
Ogden Morrow.
Yes.
Sort of like the number 2, like the Steve Wozniak to
of course,
Steve
like
Jobs.
His role is that, but I liked him as the curator too.
Yes.
I thought he was really good as the curator.
Gives him the coin.
Yeah.
He thinks it's just like
Right.
Awesome movie. Terminator Salvation, which I had never seen.
Ooh.
Fucking love that movie.
Very good. Unfortunately for Terminator Salvation, I watched it in between Ready Player One and Whiplash for the first time. I really liked it. I thought it was. I'm trying to think of what other movies I've watched that McG has directed, but the action scene.
Charlie's Angels.
I don't know if maybe if I've seen Charlie's Angels, I haven't.
You haven't seen Charlie's Angels with Cameron Diaz and Lucy Liu?
Oh yeah, okay. And Drew Barrymore, I've seen that one. But the action scenes were absolutely unbelievable in Terminator Salvation.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. Christian Bale was really good. Sam Worthington good. Anton Yelchin, who I always unfortunately forget about. But it's so sad. Like his
death was super sad. Yep.
Kyle Reese.
Yeah, he played a great Kyle Reese. I did like. I don't know. I thought it was a real like. I don't think it was as good as Terminator or T2.
No.
I really liked it as.
Well, they really like.
It was different.
Right, it was different. They kind of like went and did their own thing. They didn't just like.
But as an action movie,
make it like T3.
I was very pleased with it. I thought it was really good. I would recommend it to anyone who likes the Terminator movies. It has a plot. It's not just like explosions.
Yeah.
They got Christian Bale to be in it.
Yeah, I know. It was
really good. That's the movie that he like flipped out on set, right?
Yes.
It's in the Kid Cudi song.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Modern day. So, by the way, I wanted to mention, this is going to be a quick sidebar, when you're talking about Chappie and how robots are running South Africa, Tom Cruise is funding 2 robots to patrol the set of the new Mission Impossible.
Really?
For COVID violations. So there's robots on the set constantly. So it's happening. The robot takeover is being funded by Tom Cruise.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We'll have to talk about that at a different episode.
Oh my god!
Then after that, I watched Whiplash, which fucking floored. It was unbelievable.
Oh, like how good is that movie?
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
No,
what?
I know.
You've seen it, right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, I have a few things to talk about it. You do your things, and then
It's one of the most like authentic from a character and plot perspective movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Everything that happened, I was so happy it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, all right, this is what this character should do. They didn't sacrifice the plot. They didn't sacrifice it to like make a happy ending or make the story move this way. They just did what the character should do every single time.
Right.
Like when Miles Teller's character beat the shit out of J.K. Simmons, that's what that character should have done at that moment.
Yeah.
He like broke him down mentally, verbally abused him, and he shouldn't have took it anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And then at the end, which the movie came out in 2014, so 8-year spoiler alert, whatever.
Yeah, no.
When J.K. Simmons tricked him.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's exactly
God.
what that character should have done.
Yep.
Right.
That character would not
Totally.
have welcomed him back.
Are we under the understanding that Miles Teller like ratted on him, right?
Yeah, he
did.
did, and that's why he
Yes.
got fired.
That's why he got fired. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm at that. Yeah. Right.
And then when J.K. Simmons tried to play it sly at the jazz club, and he's like, yeah, it must have been, because right before that,
right, he pretended like he didn't know.
a student had killed himself, an
Yes.
older student. And J.K. Simmons played it off as it must have been one of his classmates.
But he knew it was
But
him.
he knew it was him.
Yeah.
And that's why he goes up to him at the thing
Yeah.
before they start. He goes, I knew it was you, like, you fucker.
Oh, it's so good.
And then he plays the new thing. But so I love it so much because you can see it from both perspectives. J.K. Simmons is almost proved right by the ending.
Yeah.
That his methods
Yes.
will create the next who was it? Charlie Parker.
Yeah.
Like that next type of musician. Miles Teller, his motivation is, I'm going to do it in spite of this coach. But that's the point.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Like he
That's
thinks
why-
he's doing it, for his own thing. But
Yeah.
So oh my God, it was so good.
And then he does it.
And
at
then
the
he
end
does it.
too.
And then
Do you think
they
he said
kinda
like good
converge.
job? Like it was all eyes between the two of them.
Yeah.
Do you think he said like good job finally?
Yeah,
I
I
like
mean,
to think he
I
does.
think when he came
Well, I
close
think
and
that
he's
would
like,
break the. Yeah, I mean, him saying good job would probably
But that's
break
why
the
that's
whole.
why
he
they
didn't
didn't
say it.
show it
Yeah,
though. Like he just
yeah,
like you could tell he was smiling. And he was happy.
Yes. And then the other part when Miles Teller was still the understudy to the other drummer in the band, and they were at that show, and he put down his music, and the music went missing. Was that a J.K. Simmons
yes,
fucking
I think
move?
he
Yeah.
took it.
Right, I think so, right? Because they made it too obvious that he put it down in a completely safe spot. And then all of a sudden, like,
before that,
it's
J.K.
gone.
Simmons said, like, guard this with your life.
Right, exactly.
Then that
He's
drummer
teaching him a lesson.
gives it to Miles
Yeah.
Teller. So he's like, all right, you want to hand it off to your, your understudy?
Right.
I'm going to teach
so
you.
he's trying to fuck the main drummer.
Right.
Which, yeah,
Which he
okay.
did.
Fucking amazing movie. So good.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And Damien Chazelle.
Yeah,
Which, like,
I know. I just watched it last year too. I hadn't seen it. I just
Really?
watched it. Yeah, I just watched it the first time last year.
So there's a short before that one came out. And,
Yeah, I was just looking at it.
And J.K. Simmons plays the same character. Like he plays that character, and he brings him back. And he won best supporting actor for that role. J.K. Simmons is amazing.
which I'm very glad.
Sometimes randomly I'll watch that end drum solo because it's so awesome.
It's unbelievable.
It's like such a like you said, like the culmination of the two of them reaching their goals.
Yeah.
Really good movie. I'm glad you liked it.
Yes, it was amazing. And so I did look up on Damien Chazelle's IMDb. So he is directing. There's not a lot of info on it, but it's called Babylon.
Yeah, he wrote that too, I think.
Yeah, Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt, your
Yeah,
boy
here it
Tobey
is.
Maguire.
Yeah, he
Why
wrote
is he
it.
my boy? Because I like 2 movies he's in.
You're the one. You're obsessed with his Spider-Man, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not
So
my
anyway,
boy.
well, because I love La La Land and I loved Whiplash, and First Man was pretty good too. So I'm very excited to see whatever the hell that is. So anyway, after I watched Ready Player One, Terminator Salvation, Whiplash, all very male-centric movies. Not a lot of female characters. So I went to the old Google machine and I typed in movies with the strong female cast.
Fired up the internet?
Yep. Movies with the strong female cast. 4 results. 4.
Was it Ghostbusters one of them?
Mad Max: Fury Road.
Okay.
The New A Wrinkle in Time.
Okay.
Okay.
Ocean's 13. And this 1984 Japanese anime.
Wait, Ocean's 13? Is that
Ocean's
the one with...
8.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say.
In this 1984 Japanese anime movie called Norika with an extra A. There's got to be more.
There's more.
So I was like dumbfounded. So I searched movies with a strong female lead. Instead of with a strong female cast, God forbid. And it brought me to Alien.
Yep.
Which I had never seen before.
Yes.
I'd never seen
I
Alien before.
I almost put it on when you told me you were watching it.
Unbelievable. So I watched Alien and Aliens, which I didn't realize were. I knew Ridley Scott did Alien. I didn't realize James Cameron did Aliens.
Yeah. Get fucking James Cameron and do the sequel.
So I personally
Sweet
liked.
Billy Paxton.
I liked Alien better. I
Yeah.
liked their original
The
better.
original, yeah, okay.
But it's so cool to see in the same franchise, even though they were like almost 10 years apart, like the different directors' styles of like, and they both worked. They were both really, really good.
Yeah.
But I happen to like Ridley Scott's version better, where he just kind of like let the acting do
isolation
the work
and-
and like there's no dialogue for like the first 5 minutes of the movie. He's just showing you the surroundings of the ship.
Yeah,
And
he's,
you're like-
he's the king.
Oh my god, it was
Just
awesome.
puts you alone.
yeah,
like
how
scary
isolated
it
you
is.
are.
So there's some little pieces that you can pull off. Like the set decoration in Alien is so well done and like very like nothing is placed on accident in that movie, and no camera angle is just by accident with Ridley Scott and Alien. One of the things I thought was very cool, which I forget if it was he that said it or somebody that was moderating a conversation that I saw an interview at South by Southwest with him when they were showing the clip from Covenant, and they showed, I got to watch the original Alien in a movie theater with people that are like super into movies. It was awesome. But anyway, he's talking about how there's these symbols above all the doors in the spaceship, in the Nostromo. And you don't know, you recognize it, but you don't know what it is. It's the Purina logo from like dog food. And he said when he did that, he decided to take the Purina logo because they're all just food in a can for this alien. Like that's all. That's all the people on the ship are. Is they're in a fucking can of dog food. It's like that's all they are.
That's pretty cool.
Crazy. Yeah, pretty cool. So that was one thing
I wanted to ask you in Alien. Like something I always think about is like the days before movie trailers and how people really don't get the spoiler alerts. They don't have the internet, so like they can't see things ahead of time. And there's no like people on set blowing the whistle on what's gonna happen. Like, what did you think when the alien popped out of that guy's chest? Did you know that was did you know about that scene?
Yeah, I knew about that scene, but like my hands were like sweating like the.
Do you recognize that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
My hands were like sweating the whole movie.
Yeah.
Just for all the characters are sweating. Like no one's. They just made it feel very real. Like no one's playing it cool. No, everyone's like scared shitless.
Right. You think that like these people are on a spaceship, like they know what they're doing. No, this is just how it is now.
Yeah. I did that whole scene though works so well because they set you up to like calm you down. Like they're all eating and they think they're past the worst of it, and then that guy starts freaking out. But I did read that I guess they didn't tell the rest of the cast.
No, the cast didn't know, so that was like their genuine reaction.
And if you look at the captain, his face is like white as a ghost. Like that's not acting. He's just like doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Something else that's really cool is as far as the aesthetic of the ships are, like they're sort of dingy and grimy. They don't look like what you would think a spaceship is. But like when you've seen Prometheus, and when you see Covenant too, they're like brand spanking new. You know what I mean? So this is like years in the Alien and Aliens is set like years in the future, where like space travel is just like that's what everybody does now. These things are just recycled fucking spacecrafts that this is their job. So I like that too. I like that how that they sort of maintain that and the foresight of that to put that in those movies so early on, and like to think about it for your prequels, be like, oh, we should make them look newer and nicer because they haven't been used.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it was, and like the monster itself is like so much better than any CGI could ever dream up.
Oh my god!
Only 4 minutes of screen time, and it doesn't show up until like 50 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
Like and it's terrifying.
It's horrifying.
Still to this day is
because
terrifying.
I think it's horrifying because it you can't outrun it.
No.
Because it reminds you of like almost, it's like a human dinosaur hybrid. Like it can stand on the back legs. Obviously, if it's close to you, it can kill you. But like, you don't feel like there's no like I'm thinking there's nothing I can do as a human
to stop this.
That's gonna get me away from it.
Even if you hurt it, it hurts you.
Right. You can't burn it. You can't do anything. I just thought it was awesome. So I watched Alien. I watched Aliens with Bill Paxton, who plays such a dickhead.
Game over, man.
But that one's like more of a James Cameron, like campy, like a lot of good action scenes. And I almost finished Aliens 3. Which
not as good.
Well, I don't know if we needed to take on a futuristic prison colony.
But wait till you get to Alien Resurrection.
That's my favorite one.
That
of course it is
a very good one in the worst way.
Okay.
Like it's a very good
Well, that's like late
Winona
90s
Ryder
one, right?
and Ron Perlman.
Yeah, it's totally ridiculous.
And
it's like the Doom. It reminds me of not as much action, but like the rock movie, the Doom rock movie that he did.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of shit. It's like sci-fi, but it's just like
Well, I kind of like it because
ridiculous
original
over the top.
Aliens was like 70s, which I feel like was like the golden age of movies. That's
Yeah.
when people had like these ideas that they were finally able to put forth. Like you had the Star Wars, you had the Godfather. So like Alien was just pure and like
Original.
this original idea that Ridley Scott could execute how he wanted. Then Aliens 2, you get to the mid-'80s, and it's like, it's got to be crazy. It's got to be all this stuff. And then Alien 3 is the early 90s. It's like, go bigger. Like, okay. And then Alien Resurrection is the late 90s, which is like, you can't do anything wrong. People are going to spend millions of dollars. It doesn't matter.
The one cool part, the final fight scene in Alien 3 is really good.
Yeah.
It's really fucking cool.
I didn't.
That's
yeah.
So
I
one
got
thing
like an
that-
hour left.
One thing that bums me out about Alien 3 is like Hicks dies before he even wakes up. Like he was a really cool character in Aliens.
Yeah.
And like he doesn't get a shot at all in Alien 3.
There are some good. Tywin Lannister is in
Yeah.
Aliens
Yep.
3,
Yep.
and you know who's in it too? The cop who's not Jonathan Goff in Mindhunters.
Oh
Yeah.
He has like
I
the
forget his name.
teardrop tattoo.
There's one cool thing I listened to on Audible. It's like an insert story.
Wait, I think we both listened to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good, really
like,
good story.
It takes in place in between Aliens and Aliens 3. So it's like Ripley and Hicks, they get sent off. They're saved from Aliens.
Yeah.
But they don't crash land in Aliens 3. They don't crash land on that rock. They like get intercepted by another craft.
Right.
And like they have their own alien confrontation there.
And they have to eject the ship at the end, right? Isn't that what it is? That's how they like Ripley gets away. Like
Yeah,
they get away, and it's almost like if you watch Aliens and then Alien 3, it's almost like nothing happened.
Right.
But in between there was this whole thing where there's this whole other crew fighting an alien. It was really well done, and it's one of the Audible originals.
Yeah.
So they have like sound effects and like
The
a
score
couple
and-
different people speak the lines.
Whatever is the actor that plays Hicks is in it.
Yes.
He does
Yeah,
his
yeah.
voice, his own voice. in it.
Oh, okay.
And
good.
the actress that does
what the fuck?
Sigourney Weaver sounds just like her.
Oh, I'm gonna look up this because it's really good for anybody that's into like Audible books.
So I've actually read another like original Alien book, and when I say read, I mean listen to on Audible. It's called Alien Cold Forge, and it's a completely original story where they're holding these things hostage. Like they did it. They captured them. They're breeding them, and they're like trying to weaponize them. And guess what?
Out of the Shadows.
It goes wrong.
Weird.
Yeah.
But it was really good.
Alien Out of the Shadows is what it's called.
Okay. Maybe I'll have to listen to that.
It's really cool. It's very cool. If you want to listen to a book and you just watch those movies for the first time, it's a good one to listen to.
And it's
I
short
remember
too, like 4 hours, right? Less, 2
yeah,
hours.
Yeah, it's like it's like a movie. I think. Oh, let me see. I'll tell you right now. Well, I can't look at
Glad
it.
you liked it though.
Yeah. I mean, I thought they were great. I'm gonna keep watching through.
I have such a soft
Covenant.
spot for Alien Covenant.
Watch right. Prometheus. Watch Prometheus and Covenant too. Very good
So
movies.
I'll skip Broadchurch. because we watched the whole series.
Okay.
So I'll save that because I want to talk about that. So I'll end it with 2 Hulu documentaries.
Okay.
One was You Cannot Kill David Arquette, which was really good. So it's about David Arquette and his return to pro wrestling
As a deathmatch wrestler.
as a deathmatch wrestler. So for those who don't know, David Arquette, the actor from Scream, he won the WCW World Heavyweight Championship in 2000 before WCW went out of business, which he was like a lifelong wrestling fan. You know, he made Ready to Rumble. Like he went to WCW to promote Ready to Rumble, that movie, and they ended up having him win the title for promotion, which he just agreed to because that's what they wanted him to do. But like kind of put a black eye on the wrestling business because you have this celebrity come in wrestling and
Who did he
celebrities.
beat?
It was like he ended up pinning Eric Bischoff.
Oh, okay.
So he didn't beat. It wasn't like a one-on-one match. It was like a fatal 5-way or something. So like celebrities have been in wrestling forever, but they never would win a title.
Right.
They would always
That
be like a
title.
special attraction match, or they'd be a manager. So for a long time, like wrestlers didn't necessarily really like him. He wasn't welcomed in that business, and because he was in wrestling, he couldn't really ever get any parts after that in Hollywood. So he was kind of between a rock and a hard place. So it follows him the last couple of years, him trying to get back into wrestling, and like kind of his journey doing that. It's really good. It's very
It's
interesting.
on Hulu, right?
Yeah. So he's remarried to this. She was like a sports caster, like a sideline journalist, and now she's like an author and movie producer. She produced a documentary. But it's super interesting. It just shows like he went down to Mexico, trained with like the luchadors, like learned how to fight with them. And what the luchadors do is like you fight. Sometimes they have like this ring set up and you do the moves, but then they go and fight like on the side of the road.
Really?
Yeah. So it's on like a Mexican highway, and when there's a red light, they run out and they put on like a 30-second match.
That's cool.
And then they go and like get tips from the cars waiting at the red light. So they had David Arquette do that, and they're doing like Hurricane Ranas, hitting each other with chairs, like all this stuff. Crazy. And then he actually has some like really good matches. So he fought in all these independent shows in California, and he has some really good matches. And it ends up where he fights. He wanted to be at the Legends of Wrestling event, which is like they do it WrestleMania weekend every year, wherever WrestleMania is. And one of the Nasty Boys, Brian Knobbs, runs it. So it's like a huge indie thing. And he wanted to go, and they wouldn't let him do it. They're like, no, like, you're an embarrassment to wrestling. We don't want you to do it. So that whole year after, he, like, worked his way up, got some street cred, was wrestling matches, and then he ends up fighting Mr. Anderson, Ken Anderson.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
At a match. It was, like, a pretty good match. And then they had, like, a little side story. So he was super good friends with Luke Perry. And when he was doing one of the death matches, he was getting hit with the big light bulbs in the back. And one of the things got, like, lodged in his neck. And he was, like, bleeding out. And Luke Perry was like ringside, and Luke Perry like rushed him to the hospital. So he's a drug addict. He's an alcoholic. David Arquette.
Yeah.
So he relapsed after Luke Perry died, and after that match, and so Luke Perry's son is actually a wrestler in AEW, Jungle Boy. So he ends up
Looks just like him.
Looks just like him. He ends up fighting Jungle Boy at the end. But it's a cool study of like his life as he's like chasing this. He wants to be an actor. He wants to be a wrestler. He wants to be that. He's very likable.
Seems like he'd
he's
be
just
a likable
guy. Very, very interesting. I thought it was really good. So I would recommend that. You Cannot Kill David Arquette on Hulu. And then I also watched Hail Satan. Hail Satan?
So that's something I saw and I showed you. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm curious to see what you think
So
about
it's a little worrying because I agree with everything that they believe in.
Yeah. But from what I saw from the trailer, that's not like the theme of the movie isn't to convince you to worship Satan. Yeah,
that's not what Satanism is. It's unfortunately Satanism has been around forever, and they basically picked it to go against Christianity because Christianity is like the dominant religion in America, and Satanism believes in the separation of like church and state. They don't believe that one religion should be celebrated in America. Like they believe in religious plurality.
Right.
So you should be free to celebrate whatever religion you want. So the majority of the documentary...
They chose something that would offend the dominant one the most.
It's all satirical. Like they're just ball busters.
Oh.
So the majority of the documentary is they go around state to state, and there's a few states that have the 10 Commandments on government property.
Yeah.
So they go to like the town council meetings, and they're like, we want to put up the...
Baphomet.
Yeah, Baphomet, which is the Satan thing with two children.
Baphomet.
Yeah.
You know.
And they're like, people are like, well, why do you want to do that? And he's like, because this is like America wasn't founded on one religious view.
They fight the hypocrisy of it.
They do.
Yeah.
I love that. And he said, if you take the 10 Commandments down, I'll withdraw my Baphomet proposal. I don't want just the Baphomet here, but we shouldn't just have the 10 Commandments here.
Right.
So they go around and they're like fighting that stuff, and it's very interesting. And the only reason they get a bad rap is because of how some of the people look. Like they're heavily tattooed, they have piercings,
right?
They're into
crazy
like
hair
death metal stuff.
Yeah.
But like the Christians, which has been happening forever, the Catholic Church continues to look terrible because they're the ones that are like going against them. Like, oh, like how could you do this? Like, you know, blah blah. It's like, look, we just don't think yours should be the one religion.
Right.
Like,
We're not saying ours is right and yours is wrong.
Right.
Like,
you should not have the 10 Commandments on government property. There should be no mention of religion at all.
Yeah, and I love the pearl clutching crowd who are like,
oh
my god, like this is not right. This is not right.
Well, there's one scene where they go and they protest the Westboro Baptist Church, who are like super anti-gay, and they have like stuff showing, you know, so that Westboro Baptist Church is like, gays are going to hell or whatever, and they the Satanists have signs. It's like, we welcome all gays, or it's like stuff about like, is it gay if you like diddle a kid or something?
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know, the Catholic Church hid molestation of children for a long time.
Yes, yeah,
but,
good people.
But we're anti-gay, you know, so stuff like that. So it was very interesting, definitely worth the watch. And the guy, the leader, his name's Lucian Greaves. It's not his real name. But
that's a name.
He's got one weird eye, one like milky eye.
Oh my god!
It's like all milky,
like cricket.
Yeah, and it's just like looking the other way. But I don't know. I love them. They're very satirical. It's very funny. Yeah,
might be
very
cool to see.
Definitely worth it. And that's what I'm watching.
You want to save Broadchurch?
I'll save Broadchurch because I've watched all 3 seasons.
All right.
So I want to chat about it a little bit.
All right. So exciting. Little sneeze. Exciting news coming out of the Netflix camp. They put out this trailer for all their not all their movies, but essentially they have this thing that they're going to release a movie a week all year. And so
Awesome.
That's crazy. First of all, that's crazy. I'm sure that not all of them are going to be home runs,
Right.
but
Even if like 10 of them are.
But I think we have an idea of some of the ones we might think are home runs. So does anybody want to start? I think we all have the same picks. I'm looking at your picks now.
So I'll go first. I'll obviously Matt and I and Ryan too maybe are big Zack Snyder fans. So I'm psyched to see Army of the Dead
Yes.
with starring Batista is I guess the lead in this. The synopsis is following a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas, a group of mercenaries take the ultimate gamble, venturing into a quarantine zone to pull off the greatest heist ever attempted. So many like awesome things in one sentence. I'm psyched to see it.
Heists. Love it.
Right. Quarantine zone.
Mercenaries.
Yeah, mercenaries.
A lot of good action
It sounds
buzzwords. Yeah.
Another one I'm psyched to see is called Bad Trip with Eric Andre and Lil Rel Howery. So the synopsis for this is this mix of a scripted buddy comedy, road movie, and real hidden camera prank show follows the outrageous misadventures of two buds stuck in a rut who embark on a cross-country road trip to New York City. The storyline sets up shocking real pranks.
So this
sounds cool.
Yeah, it
That
sounds
cool.
like it almost sounds like Jackass-esque, like, and what's that other movie that Johnny Knoxville did? Bad Grandpa.
Yeah.
Right, where it's like there's a
So
storyline, or like Borat, where it's like it's like
Storyline,
this.
but it's like prank camera, like footage.
Right.
Yeah, so and
Like-
Eric Andre is a lunatic.
That guy is insane.
I think he's hilarious. I think his like brand of comedy is super unique and really funny. Like it just
I
hits
love
me the
him
right
and
way.
Hannibal Buress
Yeah,
on their talk show.
Do you ever see his like?
The
you ever
Eric
watch
Andre show?
Yeah, just the intro to the show where he destroys the set and then everything like new shit comes down from the ceiling. That's so awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for that one too.
And those are my two picks.
Army of the Dead, obviously. Bad Trip was another one I was excited for, and also The Harder They Fall,
Yes.
which is
Yeah.
the Western with Jonathan Majors.
Idris Elba, Regina King,
And
Keith
Regina King.
Stanfield.
Oh yeah,
Queen Regina.
You tell me Regina King.
You know her movie.
Zazie Beetz.
Her movie that she directed is coming out tomorrow on Amazon.
Yes,
One Night in Miami.
yes. But yeah, I'm excited for that. It's a Western. Regina King's in it. Done. That's
A
it.
man who looks to exact revenge against the guy who murdered his parents.
Good. Sounds like
I'm in.
Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, and then also the shit. I'm gonna bring up the synopsis for it.
The Leo one?
Yeah, what's the Leo one called?
Away We No.
Oh, Don't Look Up.
Don't Look Up. Yes, that's it.
Adam McKay, so this director of Vice.
Right. So it's listed as a comedy. That's probably why. So it's probably one of those.
It tells the story of two low-level astronomers who must go on a giant meteor tour to warn mankind of an approaching comet that will destroy planet Earth. Starring Leo, Jennifer Lawrence, Rob Morgan, Jonah Hill, Tyler Perry, Timothy Chalamet,
Meryl Streep.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Timo.
Meryl Streep, and Kate Blanchett as well.
I think there's
and
there's
Kid
a
Cudi.
rapper. Yeah, Kid Cudi
Kid
too.
Cudi's in it too.
Awesome.
And Matthew Perry. Wow, that's a cast.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, that looks awesome too because Leo is in a Netflix movie. Like, what a world.
Right.
So I'm excited for those, obviously. Red Notice, I think, is going to be just kind of fun with Ryan Reynolds, The Rock, and Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
I just see, Interpol agent tracks down the world's most wanted art thief. That's all I need to know. Okay,
Right.
I'm in. Give me
Done.
some action. And then I really want to see Malcolm and Marie,
Oh, yep.
so that one has a release date, February 5th. So that was filmed during quarantine. So it's just John David Washington and Zendaya. And the premise is John David Washington, I think, is a movie director or producer, and they come home from an awards night, and they basically just analyze their entire marriage and life. So it's just them in their house, going through everything through one night. But I love both of them, so I think that'll be pretty interesting. So I'm excited to see that one. But good on between Netflix and HBO Max. I mean, there's so many movies.
Yeah.
So that are going to be available to stream.
lot
I
of
pulled
content.
3 others that sounded interesting. One is called O2. It's starring Melanie Laurent, who also is Shoshana in Inglourious Basterds.
Au revoir, Shoshana.
So the synopsis is a woman wakes up in a cryogenic chamber with no recollection of how she got there and must find a way out before running out of air. Sounds intense.
That sounds. Yeah.
Another one called Outside the Wire, starring Anthony Mackie. In the near future, a drone pilot sent into a war zone finds himself paired with a top-secret android officer on a mission to stop a nuclear attack.
Bishop.
Sounds balls to the walls. Right up my alley. And finally, just Kate, starring Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Michael Huisman, who plays Dario Naharis in Game of Thrones, that handsome guy.
The new one?
Yeah, the new one.
So he's in, what's it called, too?
Not Blind Manor.
Age of Adeline? Not that I've seen
The
it.
Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be in...
And he's in The Flight Attendant, too.
Ooh.
He's very good in The Flight Attendant.
Right, and Woody
Midnight Mass.
Harrelson. And this is a female assassin has 24 hours to get vengeance on her murderer before she dies. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
And the picture is just like Mary Elizabeth Winstead looking intense as hell, driving a badass car.
See, because these plots don't necessarily intrigue me if they didn't have like stars attached to them.
Right.
Because you see those Netflix movies, they're a dime a dozen with
Well,
those type of plots. But when you attach that cast and like good writers and good directors, that's what elevates
And
it.
just the fact that it's like...
'Cause every movie's already been made. I mean,
it'll be like a near theater quality movie that I can just, pop on.
right.
You know what I mean? I don't have for $13 a month, and I don't have the guilt of like spending a ton of money at the theater if I don't like it.
The theater.
The theater, see?
Yeah, I'm very excited. Between that and HBO Max, we got a big year ahead of us.
I'm psyched.
Very exciting. So that's it.
That's
Average
all we
Nobody's
got.
Podcast number 107 for January 14th, 2021.
And if you're interested in any NFL bets,
At Average Nobody's.
I went 4-2 last weekend.
Pretty good.
I didn't put the bets on Twitter though, so you're just gonna have to guess.
You only put the losers up on
Exactly.
Twitter. You can find us on Twitter at Average Nobodies. AverageNobodies.com is where the blog is and where this podcast is hosted. You can also find us at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, I believe as well. But Apple and Spotify should cover most people if you have it out there. And then also YouTube. We have a video version of this on YouTube. So that's it for this week.
Siege the day.
Siege the day. Big Bucks game this
Go
weekend.
Bucks!
Gotta beat the Saints.
Need it.
Gotta beat that cocksucker Taysom Hill.
Oh my God, I
hate
can't
him.
stand him.
I hate him. I like Drew Brees too.
I don't like
hate
Drew Brees.
him. I hate him this weekend. It's over.